To go viral, let it go viral before we run out of time. My condolences goes out to Adriana's young family. What a beautiful young lady, eh? A vibrant 11-year-old whose life was taken from her. That child was sacrificed. You know, I was following the situation from the time it hit social media yesterday. And when I look at the interview that the grandmother gave to the press saying that the police officers told them to go home and relax, I knew something was wrong there. Who in their right fucking frame mind can go home and relax knowing that your child is missing? You can't find her. Eh? The police are involved in this. They were well paid. They know what was happening from the first inception, right? Watch post-mortem is going to cut that child's body and they're going to say she died from drowning. Exactly, that's going to happen. But if the family could have afforded to bring in a private cut man, to operate on that child's body, we would know exactly how Adriana died and what she died from. When that family went to that police station reporting that this child is missing, as police officers, you hear 11-year-old, that's a minor, a juvenile. From the time you hear that, start act fast. Get your warrant, go to the premises, search. You have the power, go out with your forces them. If you had done that from the time you were alerted, that child would have still been alive. But the reason why they hadn't done that is because they knew what was happening. They were part of this murder, right? That is why they say that they have footage showing that this child was picked up in a black and red vehicle, because this is how they implement it to happen. They would have sacrificed a child in the hotel, then they would have carried and dumped her body somewhere so it would look like an abduction or a kidnap, right? But the reason why they didn't get to dump her body is because the fucking crowd built up. Earlier than expected, the protests start happening. They did not move from the hotel. The people that did not move from the hotel, so they had the opportunity to come out and dump the child body. She was in there all along. Police officers, you guys had the preference, the privilege to go in there and search, but you failed to do so. Once again, the justice system has failed. That is why the Guyanese people went out in numbers, and I'm so proud and happy that you went out in numbers of all races and you protest. Because if you didn't do that, another one would have gone down the drain. Another life would have gone on ice and nothing. This is a typical situation of what happened to the Henry boys. Commissioner, from the time this was brought to your attention, accumulate your ranks them, go out, break. If you had to break and enter, we're talking about an 11-year-old minor. You didn't do that. You're highly incompetent. You should go home. You should be sent off. You're highly incompetent because you're not there to protect or serve, right? You're not competent enough for the position that you hold. So I think the government should send him off. Minister Vindi Prasad, I'm very happy that you went out there and showed the family your condolences, because I know you don't normally do these things, right? Because, I mean, I've been following you for a very long time, and I always looked at you with great admiration, because to see that you have this, this big flat platform in the Hindu society, but you have failed me. You let my hand fall, because how many young women have died or were murdered, and their life went on ice, and you've never reached out to show sympathy or to sympathize with the family. You don't do no mobilizing work, you don't do no outreach, you don't do nothing of the sort when it comes to human rights. So I'm very happy that you went out there. Kudos to you. I am not saying that I'm happy with the protests, right? But when you live in a country like Guyana, where the justice system fails us because poor is poverty, right? We don't have much of a choice. If police were so strict in their job and they took the job seriously, I mean, as soon as they got a complaint or a report, half of these crimes could have been avoided. And I don't know what our government is doing about it, right? I mean, we cannot bash the president. Not everything happens, we need to blame the president. He's a busy man. That is why a government is a body of group who's been elected or selected to rule a country. It's a tree and it have different branches. The one who is in charge of that specific field, that is the one we have to go after. Like, for example, the commissioner. He's highly incompetent because the police falls under you. You're not strict with them, so they're not strict with their job. You should be replaced, right? When you go to the police station to make a report, police don't move. Guyanese police don't move or operate without a bribe money. You have to give them a bribe money in order for them to move or start to write a statement. Now, sometimes you go, they don't have officers in the station. They don't have vehicle because they're busy using the government vehicle for their own personal use, right? They're on the road where they're making the money, the bribe money, the make a fast cash on the road. So they hardly be in the police station. All right, they got speed ticket, they got speed monitor are implemented. Still, I see police officers right under the speed thermometer. When you go to the police station to make a report or to lodge a complaint, before they to help you or start to write a statement, you have to give them a bribe money. If not, they don't operate without a bribe money. I am telling you, I've experienced it, right? They don't have police. Most of the time, they don't have police at the station, or they don't have police vehicle because they use the government vehicle for their own personal use. I have seen police officers where they implemented that speed, that machine where the check for if you got on your seatbelt or the speed machine. Police officers are under that machine with the speed gun, still harassing people. Okay? Don't bother with the police camera. That don't make sense. That don't make no sense. I want y'all do an investigation at that police station and Alberton police station. Y'all do investigation and see the lawlessness that happened to her. Let me tell you an incident that happened to me at Albert police station. I was on Lamaha Road a month ago. Accident can happen anywhere, right? And you know, Lamaha, the traffic is always closed. So a guy in front of me stopped suddenly in front of me. So I barely mashed my brakes because he made a sudden stop. Nothing happened to him. I barely jammed his bumper, but nothing serious because he had one of these big vehicles. But my number plate broke. So he was demanding a lot of cash from me because I don't know why the fuck he think I got money. So I said, you know what? Let's go to the police station, let the law handle it. So we went there. We went to Bergdam police station. They said the district that we are currently in, they do not cover that district. We have to go to Alberton police station. So the officers came out. They were very nice to me at Bergdam police station. Let me not lie, they do have good police officers. They said they do not see anything serious. Nothing happened, right? No, nobody's vehicle broke. I was okay to fix back my number plate because that's fine with me. It was an accident. So they said go to Albert police station. When I went to Albert police station, Officer Aaron, right? And I was supposed to do this video a month ago, but because I did my surgery, I didn't get to do this content. Officer Aaron, oh my God, he made this very racist. What I tell you, racist. And you guys know I build a platform fighting against racism and bullyism. Aaron at Alberton police station is not professional. Look out for him. He's not professional. Now, he saw a simple issue. He could have avoided it. Say, you know, guys, settle it. Now, we need with this long procedure. This man make I go back to that Alberton police station. They're spraying spray paint on this road. Like, you know, it's a murder. Like, this thing is a big crime. The guy in Mina Hable Nama, we say, no, well, we settle. We done at the station. We said we settle this matter. So, I give the guy money because he said he want buff back. He bad. I said, no problem. I give you your money. He buff back his stuff. Because both of us were wrong. He made a sudden stop. That's how I jumped. I just hit him. You know what Aaron tell we? How we waste his time. We got to left for money with he. That's why I tell you, that body cam don't work. We have to left. I said, let me tell you something. We don't have to left nothing. You're paid to do this. How? The government don't get them paid and pen and paper. They just got to buy it out of them pocket. I said, they ain't concern me. You take it to the person who you fall under. You know that other guy had to give him a $5,000. That's why I tell you, you got to fucking give them a money for them help you. This country got good. And election is coming up. And it determines this determines where we stand again in the next 5 years. That's why I'm not voting. It doesn't matter who go in power. Damn it. People want my vote. Give me house land. I gonna vote for y'all. But if not, me voting for y'all. Because it make no sense. Poor is poverty. We poor people ain't got... There's nothing for us out there. Nothing. The rich is gonna get rich and the poor is gonna get poor. Guyana is lost, lawless. If the international community can say our police force is corrupt, what a shame. With that being said, the love I have for Adriana's family is here. My condolences for you. I'm so sorry. You know, may justice prevail. Bye.